Alright guys, this is Matt from Geek, and today we're going to talk about why you should get into Games Workshop, or if you've been thinking about getting into the hobby. Hopefully this quick video will help you make your mind up whether you think it's for you or whether it isn't for you, or if you're if you're at that age where you're just starting to branch out into the hobby. Being quite young, I think I started when I was 10. Obviously I had to convince my parents that it was a good idea, so this is it could be for the younger generation of gamers. Grab your parents, get them to listen to this, and this is why I think it's a good idea. We're going to cover why I think it's a good idea, why I think it's a good idea to get into the hobby, how to save money, more importantly. This is quite a good tip really for any enthusiastic hobbyist. I mean, like I say, I started when I was 10 years old. I'm now 31, so I've been very nearly 32 actually. So I've been in the hobby for quite some time, and I've learnt some good pointers. And if I can, like I say in a lot of my videos, if I can help the wargamer community, I will do my utmost, best to do so. And then in another video, I'll do how to actually start, choosing your army and an army composition, and how to actually start about building your army. So the first part, we'll talk about why I think Games Workshop is a good hobby to get into. Like I say, I started when I was 10. I was a lot different back then compared to what I am now. I was quite shy and contemptuous to keep myself to myself. Math skills was I suppose poor to average to a typical 10-year-old. Reading and writing, I suppose, was roughly the same. Average to poor. I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia until a bit later on in life. When I was at school, if you just weren't particularly very good at maths or English, you were just considered thick. But no, dyslexia is quite a big thing. And this is for all the parents and stuff out there as well. If the kids are trying to get into the hobby, it is very beneficial for a younger generation. There is a lot of reading involved. Not a massive amount. You can learn a lot through the hobby, through someone showing you. And the best way for someone to show you is to go into your local hobby store, really. That could be anything from your local Games Workshop. I mean, if you live in the UK, there's a Games Workshop in, I think, pretty much every major town. I live in the East Midlands, so I'm surrounded by Nottingham, Derby, Loughborough, Leicester, Birmingham. So there is a Games Workshop in every single every town surrounding me. So I imagine it'd be the same. Or you could go to a local hobby store. I mean, there's a few local hobby stores near me that pop up. They sell everything from Star Wars to Games Workshop to other forms of games, so like Infinity and things like that, really. But yeah, with the reading aspect of the hobby, it really did help me as a young person, really. Actually progressing, learning more difficult words and things like that. Obviously, being dyslexic, it was hard to start off with, but it did build my confidence with reading and things like that. And the other aspect of it is obviously the maths aspect. So when in the next video, when we actually cover the army compositions and what to do, there is a smaller maths aspect of the game. I mean, if you go into a local game store or whatever, you'll hear people discussing what size points to play. So like 500 points, 1,000 points, 1,500 points, 2,000, things like that. Basically, to break it down in a very short term, everything is worth a certain value. And if you decide with your opponent what value to play at, obviously you've got to add each model, because each model has a points value. You have to add each model up. So there is a maths aspect there as well, which really did help me with my maths and stuff when I was a lot younger. And the other aspect of the hobby which quite a few people take for granted, really, is the fact that it's a social aspect. You could, if you picked up the hobby, you enjoyed painting the models, you enjoyed building the models, reading all the stories, because there is a lot of stories out there. Trust me, there is easily hundreds of books to explain parts in history, why an army is the way it is, and there's so much so much stuff out there to increase your imagination. Put yourself in a sci-fi universe or fantasy universe, things like that. But the aspect of being social about it as well. Only today I went into my local gaming store. I ended up speaking to 3 people that I'd never met before. I might not see them every few months if I bump into them in the store. But because we've got that common ground that we're all passionate about a hobby. It just brings a more social aspect to sit in, especially this day and age. I've seen it growing up. Kids these days are more interested about sitting in front of a computer screen than actually going out and talking to people. So it is really nice to see young kids. I saw young kids in the shop today playing against each other. Obviously waging war on a 6x4 board, and they were talking, laughing, joking, like kids should be. So it is a very, very, very social hobby. You meet new people. You could meet new people every day, really, if you went out your way. And because you've got that common ground of being passionate about something, you're always going to have something to talk about. So parents, if you're listening, it is a good hobby. Maths increases, math skills, reading skills, and a social aspect which kids these days do miss out on. I myself have two very young, 2 younger children, so it'd be really good for them for when they're older. I won't push them into it, but if they get into it, I will, by all means, be very happy that they're going to get a more social aspect out of meeting and talking to people than being sat in front of a computer all day. Obviously, gamers that have been into the hobby for a while know and they understand exactly what I'm talking about. I've been on YouTube for more active for about a few months now, and the comments I get, are really nice, really positive. I've never met anyone from YouTube before. I've met the odd 1 or 2 people. But I get comments from people, really positive things, and it is nice. That's another community, another social and community aspect of the hobby. At the end of the day, we are both passionate about the same thing, so it is very, very good, especially in this day and age. Which brings us to the next subject. Obviously, if I've sold you the hobby, is buying and obviously thinking about purchasing models and this, that, and the other. Now, obviously, the easiest option is to walk into your local Games Workshop, your local gaming store, say that you're interested in the hobby, and the man or the lady behind the desk or walking around the shop will do their utmost best to sell you things in the shop, which isn't a bad thing. It is, at the end of the day, it is their job. The good thing about Games Workshop staff is I am ex-Games Workshop staff, is they are very well trained. If the youngest they go for introductory games is I think it's now 10. Back when I was doing it, I think it was 12. I think it's dropped down to 10 now. So you could always go in and ask for an introductory game. You will be able to use their models. You'll be able to use their dice, their tape measure, their books, and that staff member in the games inside the Games Workshop will basically show you how a game runs. They will run through the imaginary of a game. They will put you as you are part of the action. They won't instill the thought of models on a table rolling dice with a tape measure. They will do their utmost best to increase your imagination. They will explain what a space marine is. Obviously, a space marine isn't just a 28mm figure, plastic figure with a bit of paint on it. Everyone that's into the hobby knows that a Space Marine is a 7-foot tall superhuman soldier with 3 lungs, 2 hearts. It's got leather like skin. It's got reinforced bones. It's got an infused upper torso, so it can protect its vital organs. It's encased in I think we're on Mark 7 power armor. So he's basically like a moving tank, and he fires a bolt gun, which are rocket propelled bullets, armor pierce. They are explosive armor piercing tipped rocket propelled bullets. So like I say, I've been in the hobby for a long time. So he will do his utmost best to sell the imagination of the game. Obviously, if you're older, teens, 20s, 30s, or whatever, the staff members in the shop will still try and build that form of imaginary. Use your imagination, for the game and stuff. They were still trying to make you part of the action, because at the end of the day, that is their job. It is their job to be enthusiastic about the hobby at all times. So they will do their utmost best to make sure that you enjoy the game and you understand what it is to be a Space Marine, what it is to be an Orc or a Tyrannid or Chaos or whatever it is army you're playing. Other ways of getting into the game is to go into your local gaming store. I mean, for me, my local gaming store is a shop which is about 20 minutes drive, so it's not too bad. And I can just go in there and I can ask the guys in the store, do you fancy a game? And if they say yeah, that's fine. If not, I can. There'll be probably just a normal person in there that would offer to help. Because that's the kind of hobby that it is. A lot of people that are into this hobby are more than happy to help people get into the hobby to understand things. There are other ways of getting into it. You could buy the starter box, which I think is Dark Vengeance for Warhammer 40,000, and for Warhammer Fantasy, I think it is literally just called Age of Sigmar. If you're thinking about getting into other tabletop games, I imagine there are hundreds of other starter boxes, but we're going to concentrate on Games Workshop for now. And in there you have your models, your dice, your measuring sticks, and rule books. The rule books are, the basic sections are very straightforward. But if you don't feel confident about reading the rules and trying to do it yourself, just ask. The people in the shop are more than happy to help. Getting a bit sidetracked there, so we'll go back to the money aspect of it. Like I said, the easiest option is to walk into your local gaming store, so Games Workshop or whatever form of gaming store it is near you that sells hobby supplies, basically. The other ways of doing it are by basically looking on the internet, and obviously this day and age, everybody has the. I think even my grandparents have the internet, so yeah, I think it's a readily available thing these days. There's hundreds of discount stalls out there. I can't name them all. Obviously, living in the UK, there's plenty of discount stores in the UK. Obviously, there's people out there living in Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, Russia, China, Japan, Australia, America, Canada, whatever. You will be tailored to the gaming stores in your area, because obviously companies that send overseas will obviously charge to send stuff overseas. The model companies that I buy from, there's one which is my local store, which is called Weekend Warlords. I will put a post up if I can figure it out. I shall put pictures up as well of the store. That's my local gaming store. They do 15% off Games Workshop items, and I think 15% off a majority of their other items as well. That can be they do lots and lots of different games in there, not just Games Workshop. They do Bolt Action and Hordes, War Machine, all this, that, and the other. They basically do a lot, but the main ones are obviously Games Workshop that I personally do. You can become a member of their store, which I think is £80 a year. I think it might be less than that. I can't remember off the top of my head. And that enables you to be able to go to the store on their gaming club night for free, and you get an additional 5% discount. So it's up to 20%. That's on everything as well. So 5% discount on everything in store. They are currently talking. I managed to speak to the owner and the manager about having it so if you aren't a member, if you pay over up to £100 or over, so £100 or over, you gain 5% off as well. But they do not stack. So if you're a member of the gaming club and you spend over £100, they don't stack. So it's one or the other. Now a lot of people are probably thinking, why would I only do that if it's only 15%? I'm not a member of the club because I can't make the gaming club night, so it's almost no point me being it. But a lot of people will probably be thinking, why am I a member for only 15% off? I like to buy my stuff from there because it is my local gaming shop. I like to support my local companies, local gaming store. If I can go in and buy it from there, I will do. If I need it, if I need it that day, I will go in and buy it from there. Whenever I pop into town, they always pop in and see the guys. Always going to say hello. Like I say, very very social hobby. They sometimes when I go in, we don't even, because I know the guys in there now, because I've been going in there for a couple of years, well, about a year now. We don't even talk about the hobby stuff now. We actually now talk about general stuff. So just from being passionate about the same thing, I've gained, actual, mutual friends now. So I don't actually have to talk about Games Workshop stuff. They now ask me how my wife is and how my kids are. So it is very nice, very social. The other place that I use, the other company I use, is a online company. They do have their own shop, but it's a bit far away for me to travel to. I can't remember where it is exactly, but I think it's about 3 or 4 hours drive for me. But it's called Triple Helix Wargames. I'll put a link in and a picture of the website. I've been using them for a couple of years. They're very very good. Games Workshop products are 25% off. Games Workshop books, I think, are 20% off. Postage and packaging it's a standard, so about £3 or £4, something like that. So it's very very good discount. I've used them for a while. I've bought countless amount of toy soldiers off them. Sorry. I've never had a problem with them. They're very reliable. If an order hasn't quite come as quick as I thought it would do, I just ring them up. They quickly check it out in the system, and the problem solved basically at the end of a telephone call. If they have stocking issues, they email me. If they're unable to answer the phone, I leave a message. They call me back. I've never had a problem with them. They're very very good, very reliable, very very nice and helpful customer service as well. And obviously 25% off. It is a big discount really, especially if you're looking at the cost that Games Workshop selling models at the minute. There is a huge debate on forums and things that Games Workshop is overpriced, or this, that, and the other. Whereas it's only overpriced if you're buying it from Games Workshop. If you're buying it from discount stores, it's obviously it's not too bad. It's taking the edge off it. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you should buy it from Games Workshop to support the company." You're still supporting the company from buying it from other retailers, because obviously the retailers are having to buy it from the Games Workshop, and so Games Workshop are actually making their money as a company, as a worldwide company. So I always like to support the little guys personally. So I use Triple Helix Wargames. Like I say, I'll put the link in the bottom there. Thirdly, the other way of buying models and stuff would be eBay. It's very very easy. You just type in Warhammer 40,000 or Warhammer Fantasy, and then the army that you're looking for, and just browse. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of armies, of models. You could buy unassembled models, you could buy assembled models, you could buy painted models, you could buy professionally painted models. The hobby is so vast. You could have it. You could buy models in whatever stage of the hobby as you want. If you don't have time to paint, you buy painted models. If you don't have time to paint, you want really nice models, you buy professionally painted models. If you really like the painting aspect but don't like the building part, you buy assembled models, unpainted. There's so much stuff you can do. But with the whole money aspect of it, is you're looking at saving money, especially in this day and age. I mean, I'm, like I said, early 30s, got a young family, house, work. I work quite hard. I like. Who doesn't like a bargain? Who in England does not like a bargain at the end of the day? And I'm sure it's the same worldwide. Everybody loves a bargain. Everybody loves a discount. Everyone likes things nice and cheap, but at a good quality. So the way you've got to do it is you've got to compromise between the costs of eBay and shipping to your local store and going to pick it up yourself, or the discount store and their shipping, or your local store and picking up from yourself, kind of thing. So it could be as long-winded as you want it to be, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to save yourself some money, that's the best way to do it. Really, is just to compare things, just to compare prices from different web stores and things like that. Or you could just go to Games Workshop and you could pick it up. You could probably just walk into your local Games Workshop, have exactly what you want, walk in, pick it up off the shelf, buy it, walk out. Simple. You could probably walk into a wargaming store. The model's not there. They then have to order it in, which can be a bit disheartening because obviously you've gone into town or wherever you've gone to actually go and pick up the model, and it's not there, so you're having to wait for the model to turn up. Games Workshop do stock everything pretty much quite well. Things that they don't stock usually are they can order it and it will be at your doorstep between 2 to 3 days. But me personally, I've got that many projects on at the minute. I don't mind waiting. About 7 or 8 times out of 10, I will use Triple Helix War Games because of the discount, because of the good customer service. Shipping times can be average to, I suppose it's quite a wide range for it really. If they don't have anything in stock, they have to order it from Games Workshop. They then have to process it. They then have to ship it out. So orders like that can be up to 2 weeks. If they've got it in stock, they ship it out that day. It can be with you within 5 days. So I don't mind about waiting. I don't mind. So that's the money side covered. So then if I've managed to convince you to get into the hobby, and if I've impressed you with how I save money and the best ways to go about buying things and things like that, the next part would be what to collect and why. I'm not going to tell you what you should collect, and I'm not going to tell you why you collect it, because at the end of the day, it's your choice. It's your hobby. I'm not going to tell you should collect these because these are the best. There's two main ways about playing any hobby, really, or the hobby that I'm talking about right now, Games Workshop. You can play it and have fun, which are, in our terminology, in geek terminology, it's fluffy gamer. You play, you have fun, win or lose, you're enjoying it. You enjoy painting the models, you enjoy putting them together, you enjoy the look of the models, and you just generally have fun. Then there's the other player, who's the cheese player or the power gamer, who basically play to win. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't try and win. Obviously, it's always nice to win. Who doesn't like to win every now and again? But you have people that must win at all costs, and that could be people that take the most powerful army out there. I can tell you the most powerful armies. Top tier at the minute are Tau and Eldar. Eldar are usually top tier. They're usually top tier for quite a while now. They are really, really nice models. I don't mind saying that because I have got an Eldar army now. They are really, really, really stunning models. Rules-wise, they're very, very good, very, very strong, very competitive. Tau are the same. Marines are up there at the minute as well with some certain formations that they have. Necrons as well, same as them. They've got some nice formations to make them, top tier. Warhammer-wise, I can't quite tell you. Warhammer-wise, I'm a bit out of sync with Warhammer Fantasy recently, but that's a conversation for another day. So you're best to collect what you enjoy, or what you like the look of. More importantly, because at the end of the day, you're going to be you will be painting these models. I mean, the first few models you get, you will want to paint. Obviously, who doesn't want to be a really good painter? If you like the look of the aliens, so the Tyranids, basically creatures that go from planet to planet, devouring all life and all biological matter, from animals to people to plants. They just consume everything. If you like the look of them, massive clawed aliens with sharp talons, sharp teeth, acid for blood, reinforced like chitin armor. So they've got they actually grow their own armor rather than place it for battle and things. If you like the look of them, collect them. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let anyone come and say to you, why are you collecting them? They're rubbish. They're not rubbish. People say they're rubbish because they're not top tier. That'd be a power gamer telling you that. And I can tell you now, any person that comes to our gaming store would never say that, because we a lot of us are all fluffy gamers, really. I collect Dark Eldar. I've always liked the look of the new Dark Eldar recently. These Dark Eldar have been about 10 years, I think, with a new cast and things like that. So I've loved the new Dark Eldar models. The Hellions are beautiful. The Witches are stunning. The Reaver jet bikes, the Talos paint engines, the Carbonite warriors. The models are just so nice, so sleek, great poses. I just love the Dark Eldar. And then obviously, because I like the models, I started to read up about them, and they're very, very, very sadistic, very cruel, very evil. But some of the books and novels that are written about them are very cool. Very cool, basically, very quite graphic. I myself, love horror films. So I really do really do enjoy Dark Eldar. If you like the look of Space Marines, collect Space Marines. If you like films are a good thing to go on. If you really like Terminator, collect Necrons. If you really like aliens, collect Tyranids. If you like war films, things like that, collect Imperial Guard. They've got tanks, they've got mass infantry, they've got heavy weapons platforms, things like that. Just collect what you enjoy, collect what you're passionate about. I usually buy armies that I like the look of to start off with, and then if I like the look of an army, I will then read up about it, and then I will get really passionate about the background, the fluff. Obviously, little bunny is there. Really passionate about the fluff, and then I really want to do the army. The only downside is I like to buy an army, paint it, completely paint the lot, and then move on to the next one. I don't like to have unpainted armies. A long time ago, I had a lot of unpainted armies, and I just bogged down by everything that was unpainted. So I like to have unpainted armies, but that's just a personal preference. That's just me. So yeah, like I say, just collect what you're passionate about. Collect what you enjoy, the look, what you enjoy. The look of. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It is your choice at the end of the day. If we're all the same, it'd be a very boring world. So just collect what you like, really. And I think that's it. So I've covered why you should get into the hobby, what's good about it, the cost, how to save money, things like that. Another good way to save money, actually, thinking about it, is all these starter boxes. A lot of starter boxes are coming out these days. So you're looking at things like Space Marines. They have 10, I think it's 10 standard Space Marines, a Captain and a Dreadnought for like £50, something like that, which is really, really good. That's from Games Workshop as well, so £50, like £50 or £60, something like that, from Games Workshop. And then if you're buying that from a discount store, it's even cheaper. So you're actually getting more. I don't know what the terminology for it, more pack for your punch, or more punch for your pack, or something like that. So you're actually getting more for your money's worth as well. Or like I said about the starter sets, some of these starter sets are really, really good. I think some of the starter sets are £80, but you're getting 2 fairly good size armies with dice and measuring sticks and a rule book. And if you're looking at buying that separately, you'd be probably spending maybe £200-300, something like that, from Games Workshop. But obviously, if you're buying it from a discount store, it's obviously going to be cheaper. So yeah, so that is about it really. Like I say, the next video will be how to actually start and get into the army that you've chosen. I can tell you now that the army I will be doing will be Space Marines. The reason why I've chosen to do Space Marines over the other armies, should I say, is the fact that I have very nearly finished painting my Space Marines. It's been quite a long process, longer than it should be, but I've had a very, very hectic personal life. Like I say, with a young family, house and things like that. Me and my wife are planning on moving, so it is very, very hectic at the minute in the house. It's just finding time to do videos for YouTube and obviously get toy soldiers painted. So yeah, so that video will be about Space Marines. It will be how you start an army. So it will be what you need to start playing an army, how to write army lists, and just generally how to go about. Generally how to go about starting really. So yeah, so that's it. So thanks very much for people watching. I really do hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something anyway through watching the video. Thank you very much for everyone that has supported the channel. I think we're over 100 subscribers now, so everybody that has subscribed, thank you very much. You don't know, it always makes me very happy to see people subscribing to the channel, because they obviously, people like you guys obviously enjoy the content. I really do hope you enjoy it, and there is plenty more videos to come. I've planned a couple of battle reports against new opponents as well, from my local hobby store. So hopefully there'll be plenty more battle reports to come. So if you like the video, please share it, like it, and tell your friends about it so they can subscribe, and actually hopefully the channel will grow. Like I say, we're just starting off, and hopefully we get up there for some more subs, so we can start spreading the hobby about really. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll speak to you next time. Toodaloo.